guys, welcome to the first week of March, and I'll tell you what, here in North Dakota, man, it's going nuts. Last week we were in the 40s, this week we're going to almost be near the 60s, and this is crazy weather for us, but hey, first off, let me apologize, guys. I know you're used to getting a video from me every week. With me having to return to an LOA, I've been kind of in a funk, and I'm going to combine this week's video from in last week, so build log 2 and 3. So I do apologize. I know you guys are eager to see what's going on with the kits that I'm working on, so please understand, and I am going to try to get back to getting a video every week, I promise, while I'm on this LOA, and then deciding what I'm going to do with my future if I'm not allowed to return to retail work. I would like to do what I do here. You know, I'd love to do this professionally, you know. I mean, besides what I'm doing, but I'd love to build for people, you know, and do that. But there's still a lot of things I got to think about. I am interested in doing commission work, but being in North Dakota, it's really hard. I've had offers before, but because of where I live and where I'm having to ship things to, some people are like, yeah, and I understand that. But hey, guys, keep me in your wishes, and hopefully, you know, if the doctor says, hey, you're good, but you're just not going to be good enough to go back to retail because you can't deal with the politics and the crap that people like to play, especially now with the injury. But hey, so last week, I can kind of go ahead and talk about it because I did the videos, is we got a lot of the, I started teaching how to do putty lines, how to do your seam lines, all that. And one of the things I said in the video is, instead of just showing you what I've gotten done, I'm actually, each video on each build I do, I'm going to show you how I build it step by step to a point. Because I know there are people that just like, ooh, let's see what he's building. And then they like it, but because I don't go into detail on some things I'm doing, they're like, how'd you do that? Why'd you do that? So that's what I'm going to start doing. So please, thank you if you're going to enjoy that. And for all of you that have been watching me for the last couple of years, no, you're more than welcome to skip ahead. I have no problem with that. But, so I got the seam lines done, and I've gotten it primered. But one of the other things I'm doing now with videos is I'm actually really looking and editing them down, getting rid of some of the dead space with me just talking and not really seeming like I was saying a whole lot. So I'm also working on getting my editing skills taken care of. But yes, the Tomcat is doing well, and yes, I have ideas for the base. I would love y'all's feedback on what I'm going to do for the base. If there's any great ideas or anything you can tell me more about what the base is like, the real thing is. I can only search so much on Google. I'm not going to take away from what I'm going to do on the base on the intro. But if you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button, click on the bell, and every time I do upload, and like I said, I will get more consistent. When I do upload, you'll be notified and you can see what's going on. To all of you that have been following me, thank you. And if there's something I do and I don't explain it enough for you, please do not be afraid to leave me leave something in the comment section asking. And I do now. I've been asked, and I've been starting to do more tutorial videos on certain things that I do. So I would be happy to do that. And as always, please, I enjoy your comments. I enjoy the feedback. I enjoy the whoas. And hey, Buck, have you tried this, or have you thought about this? I love those. And yes, I will deal with the what the crap were you thinking comments, or are you just, you know, blah blah blah. I may not respond to those like I do the others in 12 to 24 hours, but I do encourage, I just encourage all good forms of openness and communication, because as model builders, that's what helps us, all of us. Whether, you know, if I know something you don't, I'd love to share it. If somebody knows something I don't, yeah, please. Awesome. So with that, guys, I'm going to shut up and let's get to the F-14. Well, hey guys, it is Sunday afternoon, and just getting a little side work done on the weekend, kind of show you what's coming up for the week. First thing I want to show you is I've already started thinking about the base and how I want to display this. And what I'm thinking of doing, if you can't tell, is here's a Tomcat, and then back here is going to be the afterburn barrier, and I'm going to build that, and then I'm going to build a catapult or electromagnet bolt launcher, and just paint this like a ship deck, as close or as much as I can, and just, you know, have her look like that. That's what my idea for that is. So, but that's going to be a little bit of work. I'm going to work on that one. I need time to do it. You know, just need to take a break. But what I wanted to show you was this, and let me zoom in on it a little bit more. So as you can tell, I've added another piece to the bottom, and I am getting ready to do some putty work. Back here, along here, and up here by the landing bay, or the landing gear bay. And then what I've already done is did liquid putty along the insides here, just to help take care of some of those gaps I saw, and take care of those. But some of this sanded really well. These T.B.I kits, for the most part on the seam lines, are amazing. They do really. So far, I've been amazed by it, but I still have to do some more seam work, and gonna do some seam work here for the intake where you see those bunch lines. Then back here I need to do some seam work here, and then I have already started sanding these down, which I've showed you guys, and I use this is one of the sanding sticks I'm using. I've been using I have the blue sander sticks, and I have the white ones. The white ones are the highest count sanding pad you can get. I don't remember what it's called, but just so I can keep most of the detail. I am going to have to go fix some of it, but basically when you just sand, you just put your finger right here, and it's putting all the pressure right where you want to sand on this thing. And most of this is coming really well. I still got some work, like I said, right here to do, but most of it's coming out really fine. So there's that. And the other thing I did before we get back into building is I decided to go ahead and take the decal off, which I think I did show you in the last video, but if I didn't, forgive me. So I went ahead and painted it matte black, and now I'm going to go in and mask this off and gloss this, and then take the tape off and then masks that, so this is ready to be painted. But why I want to gloss this is so I don't end up taking up any of the paint that I already have down, and it protects it and gets it ready to go for the next stage. But yeah, so that's where we're at, guys. Now we're down to the fun, what I like getting the builds done, and I really love doing the paint, but now it's getting in and getting the detail work done, and is getting seam lines taken care of, making sure things match up, and doing that. So when we come back, I will show you what that looks. Well, when we come back, I'll show you what I do, how thin and how thick I make this when I put these on, because like I said, I'm going to go back in and doing a build by build, show you different techniques that I use. So when we come back, I'm going to finish masking these off, and then when I come back, I will show you how I putty these. And there's good and bads with what you want to do. Just see how you want to do it. So there we go, guys. So I'll see you in a minute. Well, hey guys, it's Monday, and yes, we're getting some more done. So I wanted to show you guys, I know I talked about marking out the seam lines so you can putty, but show you what I do. So right here, let me see if I can get in there. Bondo glazing and spot putty. You can find it on Amazon, or you can find it in most hardware stores, or where you need. This stuff is amazing. This stuff works wonders. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, and basically what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to get a little bit, just a little, okay? Because I don't want to use too much, and I don't want to waste a lot, but so sometimes, like what it is right now, is sometimes it's definitely a little stiff, but Real easy to use, guys. So basically, just put it on your seam that you're going to take care of. And sometimes you can use your finger, and I do a lot of times, just to make sure I get it pushed in there well and get it cleaned off. Because sometimes just trying to use the toothpick or whatever piece you're trying to use to get it, sometimes it does not want to play nice, kind of like right there. But I do go back in once I've pressed it, and I go ahead and use whatever to get it pushed some more. So I'm going to turn this a little bit and show you how I do this long side the best I can. So I got to do from here to here. So that's actually this is probably the easiest seam to actually get done. And like I said, you want to put the tape in so you can help protect what else you got there. So you don't go too much detail. And like I said, I use my fingers to help spread it, because one thing you can do is if you just use the pick or a putty knife, is when you do this, you can end up putting too much on it, and it takes forever to help sand off. But just a little bit like so, and then just like that. Now we'll get this back seam done, and again I just take what I need, and I'm just going to spread it in. I try to, like I said, make sure you keep what you need onto the tape, because getting this onto the detail makes everything a really pain in the butt down the road. And then, like I said, just take your toothpick or whatever you want and just bring it back in. Like so, guys. Well, now, like I said, we got to do these in here. And these are a little trickier because of the tight spots. And what I mean by the tight spot is right up near the front. Right here. This is very tight right in there. So I'm just gonna, try the best I can. And like I said, I use this to try to clear out a lot of it. And then just get what I need in there. And then like I said, if you overdo it and you can't get it cleaned off, that's fine, guys, because you can sand this and then go back in with your X-Acto knife and go with it. So now we'll go over to this side. And the same thing, just like I said, just take whatever you're using, and you can use it to help clean up a little bit of what's going on, so it's not going really crazy. And then we'll come back here and we'll do this. So the more you build, especially if you're first getting back into it or not, and when growing up, we didn't care about seam lines. I mean, when I first started modeling, I was like, what? Seam line? What's that? But now, I mean, it's weird, and I know you guys feel the same way. It's like, come on, can't they get it even tighter? Why can't they make that fit better? But if you're getting into where you want to start doing seam work, this is the best way I know how to show you guys. And people go, well, they make those putties that you can do, the testers and stuff. Guys, those are great, but this is probably the best. This Bondo. I mean, you see me use putties, but I use a liquid putty here. Sorry, zoom out. I use a liquid putty down here, but I like Bondo. It's a heck of a lot easier to sand than putties, and it's a lot easier to work with in the end. So, there we go. Like I said, I still have to do some more work on these, but I wanted to start getting seam lines taken care of. Now, because I fit this together, like right here, I thought I might have to take this seam and putty it down, but and putty it up and get rid of it. But actually, like I said, with T.B.I, they fit so well on a lot of these that you just do a light sanding and the seam disappears. The seam line just disappears. So we'll see. I'll take a look at it after I get it, the whole thing primered, and see how that looks with it. And if it's good and covered, then we're good to go. So, yeah, so there we go. So now it's pretty fun, especially with this. Once you get it on and get it where you want, the greatest thing is you can do stuff like this. And just get this off, like so. And like I said, I have a pair of tweezers to help, but yeah. So there you go, guys. You see that? That is a heck of a lot better than, oh my God, trying to put it on there without any help, without the tape. But yep. So. And just like that, guys. Bring it up and that's how we do it. Sometimes you might get a little, like, it likes to play, but yep, there we go. And we'll go in here. Sometimes you actually have to get your fingers in there. So sometimes you just gotta, I use these tweezers a lot and they do really great, but sometimes they don't like to pick up the tape. And there's that. So if you see a little bit of some left over, like you can see right there, just use your toothpick, try to help get it out, and then going on the last little bit here. Guys taken care of, and then we're gonna, while we may be able to take the tape, guys, you do want to let this sit for at least 2 to 3 hours to get good and cured. Bondo dries really quick, but if you don't let it get set up, then once you start sanding it, if it's still tacky wet, a little more wet than normal, not fully dry, you're gonna just take away all the work you just did putting that in. So like I said, guys, my advice is make sure you let this sit for a couple hours at least, to get good and cured up, and then that way when you guys are ready to go sand, it is ready to go. And last bit of tape. Here we go. So there. So that's basically how I do seam lines and how to take them away. And yes, you're like, oh my God, this is going to be so big. Don't worry about it, guys, because once we go in and start taking care of the sanding and get it down and shape it up, it's going to look great. Like I said right here, this liquid putty is what's right here. And while I got a lot of it down, a lot of it still, the liquid putty did what I needed to get right in there, because trying to put putty into crevices like that, it gets really more deep than you want it to. It gets a little thicker. But there we go. So now I'm going to let this get good and cured. And just show you real quick. While that's curing, what I did with this seam on the upper, where the front meets the ship, just if you're worried about losing detail, anytime you sand, you're going to lose a little bit. Don't worry, because you can bring it back, and I'll show you how to do that, guys, when I get it all set and ready to go. But if you can also tell by my sanding, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on this. Very lightweight sanding. I want to let the sandpaper do the work, the sanding stick do its work, because the more pressure you put on, the more you're gonna do. You're gonna gouge it. You're gonna dig at it. You're gonna take away more detail than you want, and then you have to put a lot in. So try to just be a light touch with your sanding, just like this. Another thing, try to feel. I mean, get really good at feeling this, especially where you got that seam. Try to feel how that seam feels, kind of like same right here. So this is, I haven't even done this seam yet. I've started sanding on it, but I still can feel it, so I'm going to have to do some more work on that and have to see whether or not I'm going to have to actually putty that or not. But I want to wait and paint it, get this sanded down real nice and get it painted to see if I actually need to do that. Down here, yeah, I had to. Up here, not so much. So like I said, guys, when you're sanding, if you're doing any sanding on the kit, getting rid of flash, getting rid of seam lines, seeing if, and the other thing is, if you have a seam line and you have one, like what I was talking about here, that's not fitting right, it's a little higher than the other, same technique, just lightly sand. It'll take a while, but lightly sanding, get it all worn down, nice, easy, and slow, and you're going to save so much of the detail that you want to keep. So that's it, guys. So like I said, now we're just going to let this prime up or cure up, and I will come back when it's ready to go, and I will show you the great thing about Bondo. Like I said, is a great putty, and I'll show you how well that sands, and we'll keep going. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Well, happy Wednesday morning, guys, and yes, I took yesterday off. I got in a gaming mood and spent some time playing video games with my son. So we're back, and yes, you can tell I've already done some sanding, but I wanted to show you guys my technique in doing this. So maybe give you guys a little bit of heads up or whatever if you're having trouble sanding these putty lines. So I will start out with a little bit rougher. Sorry guys, right offhand, I don't remember what the grit is. Hold on, let me see if I can find. So these are about 240 grit, the blue ones. So you got the rougher side, the really darker blue, and then you got the lighter sanding side, the light blue. So one of the first things you want to do is, sometimes I'll start with the rougher side just to help get a lot of it off, but most of the time I will do the light sanding side so I don't get rid of detail. And as you can see, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on there again. I'm just sanding it down, getting rid of that excess putty, and doing a light sanding. So then what I'll do is I'll go to, this is really more of the 300 to 400 range on the grit. You still got both sides. You got a rougher and a lighter, and with this one you can, it's really great. But again, and what this does, because it's a more grit sandpaper, it can help take out any little scratches that you did and take off what little bit you want to take off. So here we go, guys. So as you can see, this is pretty well done for now. Like I said, I have to do a primer coat, and we'll get seeing more of that. So these two are done, and now I have to work on the back side. And like I said, don't be in too big a hurry, guys, with this. You just take your time, do light sanding, because the one thing about sanding seam lines, when you think you're done, you're probably not. And that's been something I've had to learn, is doing the sanding. So I mean, you could feel it's like, oh yeah, it's gone, but when you primer this, you'll see, like I said, when I showed you on the nose, when I showed you on this part, that sometimes the primer helps show up what still needs to be done. And like I said, you can get quite a bit of it done, but the priming will help a lot. So, and to help save the detail, like I said, go with the lighter, like I am doing with the lighter sand stick. And sand sticks are the best for doing this, because if you tried the whole piece of sandpaper or really high grit sandpaper, you're gonna hate life, because it'll start taking off so much detail, and you're really gonna hate yourself for that. And like I said, you know, this is gonna be facing down, but still, if I ever get the chance to enter competitions, being in North Dakota, there's not very many, and the one that I want to do is Wonderfest, but I'd have to drive 2 days from North Dakota to Kentucky, and I've been asked by several friends to start doing those. But right now, it's not financially feasible for me to go, especially with me being out of work again. But I will get there one day, guys. So there's that, and then we're going to work on this. Again, take your light brush, light sander, and what it does, the more the lighter grain it is, or the heavier grain, I don't know how to say that. What it does is helps get that big chunk off. While you're lightly sanding, it takes, as you can tell, it can take a lot down. And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more for you so you can see that. So, as you can tell, it takes you can get quite a bit of this down, and then you go to another lighter sander, and I'll call it detail sanding, but it helps take any scratches that you put into the kit and helps take that off. So, and there we go, guys. Like I said, I'll feel it. If it feels fine, then I'll paint it, and then I'll double check it after I primer it. Make sure that seam line is pretty well hidden. Also, another thing I did while off camera is I sanded these spots that I told you guys, or puttied these spots that I told you guys about, that I had to sand down to get to fit, and then I started sanding these to make them even. But I did putty the big gear, the big spot, and again, I'll start with this one. And like I said, just take your time, and once you feel confident you got it pretty well where you want it, you can go back with the lighter stick and help buff it out. Like I said, you won't really know how well it is until you primer it, and then you can go back and do whatever extra sanding you need to. So that's the fun part, dude. Guys, this is, you know, putting the model together is fun, but getting all these seam lines, getting all the detail work done is even better. So I'm going to keep working on this, and when we get back, I'll show you something else. Alright, see you guys in a bit. Alright, well, sanding is pretty well done until I get the primer on and figure that out, what else I need to do. But getting to thinking about this, as I showed you guys the base that I'm going to do, one of the things I like to do on kits, especially if they're going to be staged like that, either in flight or getting ready to take off or landing. This one's getting ready to take flight. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on getting these pieces to the cockpit masked off, done up, so that I can completely get this sealed down and in. And then when I go do the main colors on this, then I'll have it already there. I'm not having to worry about trying to keep this whole big area closed up. It'll be masked off. And the great thing that to me is done is, wow, they supply their own masks for the canopy and other parts. As you guys can see, I started with this, and for the most part, I really do like them. They work really well. Only problem is, like, something you would have to learn is that while they're great and you don't have to do a whole lot of extra prep work with them, a friend of mine who runs Aztec Dummies, he makes painting masks. You've seen them when I use them on the starships and stuff. With the tomato ones, you're going to have to actually cut out, and you have to be very careful not to cut too far past the line or too in front of it or whatever, because these aren't these aren't already pre-done. You have to cut them out and stage, you know, so you can stage them. But it's neither here nor there. So I did do that. So this is going to be the primary color. Sorry about the phone, guys. And then inside, I've already masked off the best I can because I want to paint this that clear blue tint, which the instructions call for. And then I'll put it down on the ship, put it down on the plane, and that way I can take care of whatever little seam work I need to do there, and then get ready to put it in camera. Like I said, I can take care of what little seam work I need to do and get ready from there. But with me getting to do that, I have got to do these fun and imaginative, long, sometimes really long paint jobs. So everything's pre-built, everything's ready, and I've got the stuff I need to. So I got to get these guys primed, get them painted, get them decaled, because there are decals that go on the ejection seats, and get these, set in, and then get the other pieces to the cockpit. So there's the front, the main canopy, putting the pilot in the rear end, and then putting the glare screens, as they call it, right here to the rear up, and doing the HUD system on this one. So guys, I'm going to get these guys all primered up so I can get them painted and weathered like I want to, and I'll show you how that's going to look, and then we're going to keep moving, because the way this doing this kit and building it, I like it, because you know, some kits you have to build almost completely before you can do anything, but with this T.B.I kit and a lot of the plane kits you can do, you get to, you know, do different parts, get different parts completed even though the whole build's not done. So like I said, I've already got the rudders all done. I gotta get them primed and get them painted, and I'll get them decaled and coated, and then when they're all done, and when the paint job on the main part of the plane is done, I don't have to worry about trying to mask them off or do any of that. I can just get them set on there, get them glued down, and get them painted. So guys, give me a bit. I'm going to go get these primed up, and then I'll start showing you how I go about painting figures. And if you don't want to watch it, you know, you can skip ahead when I get to that point. But hey, it's fun. It's Wednesday, and we're getting more done. So, like I said, sanding on the plane is pretty well done until I get it primered, but now I'm going to work on getting the stuff so I can seal up the the cockpit and rear done and get all that ready to go. So when I am ready to do a big paint job, I don't have to worry about all that. So give me a little bit, guys, and when we come back, I'll show you how I go about doing these. So see you in a bit. Hey guys, well, we're back, and I've got everything primed that I want to get done for inside the cockpit, and let you go see what I've already started painting. And yes, this is just a clear blue, and on the instructions it says, oh, you need to do this, and I agree with it. But one of the things I'm going to tell you guys is if you try to brush this on, it's not going to dry even enough, so that's why I use the airbrush. And I'm a big fan of having an airbrush. You know, while some of this stuff like this is going to be hand painted down, yeah, it's great, but an airbrush can do so much. It can even everything out. You can thin the paint down if you need to. As you guys just see me, and you'll probably see me do it again on this video, is I like brushing everything with the airbrush because, like I said, it's a lot more even, and it seems to dry even better because it's an atomized paint job. It gets there, it gets where you want it, and it's done. So with that said, everything you see right now is going to get black. These parts definitely are black, but then there's going to be some other painting. But I like to do pre-shading. I like to get as much from the kit itself, where the folds and all that. Like you look at this guy's uniform. You know, he's got little folds in his flight suit, everything. I want to get that done. But like I said, I like the pre-shading too. So before I mix up the paint, if you guys are interested in learning more about airbrushes, if you don't have one and you you just do a lot of hand painting, but you're not always happy with it. That's, I understand, because I was the same way. I hand brushed a lot of things growing up, and even when I got back into this. Let me just drop a comment, and I can give you what I found for good airbrushes, good affordable airbrushes, and good starter airbrushes. And then when you guys do, if you have got one, but you're kind of iffy on how to work it best, just leave me a comment, and I'll show you guys how to do like I do when I do the pre-shading, or how I do this, do the primary color, all that. Just drop a line, and I'll be more than willing to help you. And if you guys, you try to get the rattle cans, that's fine too. But one thing I will tell you about, even with the Model Master spray can, the T.B.I spray cans, you want to, the problem with rattle cans is it's one consistency and it comes out. So if you want to get a nice light coat down, you have to be very far away, and yeah. Alright, here we go. So, when you do start airbrushing, if you're looking to get into it, I always have this down. One, you can tell I can screw up a mat with no problem. But another thing is, you can spray here and see where the consistency is that you want. Sorry about the phone. But if it's coming out generally good, then there you go. So, we're going to start with the ejection seats. Like I said, having a good pair of tweezers like this is amazing. And then you don't have to get it all painted in one go, guys. Trust me. You never want to do that. You definitely don't want to try to get this all painted in one turn. I mean, you can if you want, but it becomes really a problem because you can put it on too thick or too thin, and yeah. So just like this, guys, you just go in, and I learned from a friend too. Oops, is I like to get it sprayed, get the airbrush going before I start actually spraying the piece, because if there's any globs or when paint wants to, you'll find out with airbrushes, paints like to sometimes not come out the right way. Well, guys, my airbrushing for the most part is done for this. Everything I wanted to do is done. Now it's just all up to hand painting and doing weathering. But show you this, guys. This is, let the thing focus. Come on now, focus. That's why I like pre-shading, because it definitely brings out a lot more of the detail. I mean, it looks a little dark, but the flight uniforms usually are. And this is two different parts. This is one part dark green and a little bit of white, and that's it. And then that's easy. But the funnest thing was actually doing this right here, guys. This is where the HUD display sets up. And sorry if it's not focusing. Kind of got a lot going on. But that's actually flat earth and purple. Now, alright guys, well, here we go. I'm, except for doing a little weathering, the pilot and the rear is done. And let's see if I can get that to focus for you, maybe. And yes, those are two absurdly decals, but there we go. I still got to do some weathering, like I said, but other than that, they are done. And show you here. Well, let's zoom out a little bit so I can focus a little bit better. And there they go. So, I mean, it looks very damn good in there. And it's going to stay that way. So I got to do a little weathering. Then I got to matte coat the seats in the pilot and rear. And then we're done. These pieces are pretty much getting there. Let me, gosh dang zoom. For the rear, and then what I did do, guys, and something you might want to look at for parts like this. I know I've talked about the Vallejo varnishes, and I tried spraying and it didn't work out so well, but I did find that putting a little bit down and then brushing it on. Well, what do you think, guys? I brushed that. So that's sealed and dried, but it was brushed on. So that I'm kind of happy with. Alright guys, they are matted, they are weathered, and they are in place. Let me give you a look at that. And yes, I went ahead and put the forward canopy on, because I like it, but give you a good look in there. I'm very happy with how these two guys came out. I did do one little mess up. So this seat is supposed to be back here, and this seat's supposed to be up here, but guys, if you do something like that, don't worry about it. As long as if it still works, fine. So don't fret about making a little mistake like that, or so. But I'm gonna let these guys get cured in, get set, and let this set, and then when we come back, I'll put on the mask to the main canopy and get that in place, and this will be done. At least the inside will be done. But there you guys go. So try to do the best, keep it in camera there for you guys. Very, very happy with that. So when we come back, main canopy. Sorry about the phone. Well, happy Friday, guys, and getting to the end of it because I got plans with the wife this weekend. So I'm going to keep working on some pre-build, but I kind of want to show you everything I got going on. This isn't glued down. I was just going to take a look at it. But what I did is I started the weapon systems, and then I started the landing gears, getting all that pre-build done. And I'll tell you, guys, out of all the aircraft I've worked on, T.B.I has got to be one of the best to put stuff together. I mean, this stuff went really well together. There's a lot of pieces. Like this right here was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces just for this one landing gear. So, as you can tell, that's what I'm working on. So I'm working on finishing up pre-building what I need for the weapon systems. And I'm going to get all this primered, double check my seams. But next week when we come back, I'll get started on the paint, and I'll show you, if you're new to my channel, I'll show you what I call pre-shading, and I'll show you how to do the pre-shading the way I do it, and then how to actually apply your primary colors, and the best way I've learned how to do it. So I'll show you that again, guys. And if you've seen it before, you can go ahead and skip ahead and see what I got done. But yeah, so like I said, I've gotten the weapon platforms ready, and it's pretty neat. These are going to be the same color as the bottom of the aircraft, so that's why they're already in place. But these, the tips are going to be a darker gray than the body. So I want to get that sprayed in, get that marked off and sprayed before I glue them on, before I do the weathering that I'm going to do. But guys, it's getting there. We're getting to the end of the fun part, the easy part of the pre-building, and getting ready to get started on the painting scheme. So guys, I'm going to keep working on this. Well, hey guys, it is Tuesday and getting back to work, and I've got everything primed. So two things. One, I love the T.B.I primer. It goes on really well. It brings out the detail. Let me see if I can help y'all see that. You can see, I mean, I'm sorry if it gets missed on the camera, but this primer really brings out the detail well. But also you can see where I did seam work. It's pretty much, it's well disappeared. I mean, especially right here and right here, it's really gone. So I really love T.B.I primer. Just an FYI, guys, if you're looking for a better rattle can primer, yeah, I definitely go with the T.B.I. It's great. It coats well, and you don't need actually a whole lot of it to actually get the job done. Like some primers are like, oh my gosh, more. But the next thing I want to show you guys is here. Let me zoom this in. So these are right here. or more like, sorry, right here. And I'm kind of looking, so the top, you can definitely tell that's the you know, and then you look at the bottom, and it's like, oh, well, maybe I don't know. Because I'm thinking that seam line, because these two pieces, so the seam there. But looking at the top, I think, yeah, okay, because I was going to just take care of this seam and get rid of everything, but as you look, it's definitely part of the kit, which I gotta say, hey, Tamia, awesome job where you did the seam to make it still part of the kit. So great. So the next thing I'm going to do is one, I made a mistake when I primed this. I thought I had taken care of everything, got everything taped off. Yeah, I forgot that, but that's not a bad mistake, guys. I'm going to re-darken it a little bit when I go and do the pre-shade. I'm pre-shade again, and then I'm going to go back in and take care of, and then paint it to white, and then take care of the detail paint, and then get it messed up a little bit more. But, so, guys, if you do something like this, like I did, don't worry about it. It's an easy fix, because what I'm going to do after I get all the pre-shading done is I'm going to work on the wells first. And I'm going to actually, a lot of times you don't have to tape them off, but I'm going to go ahead and tape this off, get it sprayed really well, do all the things that I'm going to do to it, and then when that's said and done, I'm going to mask these parts off, so I don't make the same mistake I did. But again, guys, it's very, very awesome. So I will get more done, and when we come back, I'll show you guys doing the pre-shading and the very interesting fact that it is. I know I've shared it with you on other videos, guys, but if you're new to my channel and you're learning, sorry about the phone, I'm going to show again. Like I said at the start of this video series, well, on this one, is I was thinking of just, like I said, showing as I got the parts done, and this, but I like teaching, and I like showing what I use, what I do, and if it helps, great. If not, great. But, you know, that way, you know, if you're just first turning in and going, oh my God, you did what? How did you do, you know? And then, you know, you see the gray, and then the next thing you see is nothing but black primer or black spray all over the kit. You're going, okay, what's going on? So, and then you're like, well, okay, that's cool, but how do I do it? So I'm going to show you guys again. And like I said, if you guys have already seen me do it, and you know, you're like, really, Buck, we want to watch something, you know, let's see some more. You can always skip it to the next segment. So, but let me get things taken care of, and we'll come back and get started on that, guys. See you in a bit. Alright, guys, well, here we go. We're going to start doing the pre-shading, or I'm going to start doing the pre-shading. You guys are going to watch, but once you get your airbrush loaded, and this is something you're new to, one of the first things you want to do, like I said, you've already seen me use paper before, but kind of feeling where your airbrush is at, you know. So this way it's like really far and a little closer. You can, and then just go and just start doing lines. Get used to where your trigger is, because the more open your trigger is, the wider it goes, the closer it is, and that's what I was talking about a few segments ago, was why you want to start spraying on this before you go to the kit, so you can get that blurb out. But the closer it is, there you go. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started on this. And the best way to actually do the pre-shading is just follow the lines. Now from here to here, this is all going to be black, so I'm not going to show you that real quick, but I'll start showing you this and then I'll go in. So let's look at these guys, these ribs. So you want to create shadow, again, just a little bit. And the great thing is, this doesn't have to be neat. You just want it on there. So like I said, oh my God, Buck, there's more over there than there is. So, but yeah, just, you know, just come in and do stuff like this. And like I said, don't worry about if it looks like crazy, because it will. Trust me, guys. It's going to get there, but you're going to take care of it with the paint. You'll see me when I do that. But now you start seeing the panel lines, and you want to kind of go into them. And the great thing about this is just pretty much tracing, guys. And it's just, like I said, kind of make sure you do have can of air so you can brush off anything. But yeah, so like here I know I'm going to want to have some shadow, and this is going to be all black, so I'm not worried about that, getting that painted. But yeah, just have fun. Don't worry if it's like, oh my god, like I said, if it looks bad, don't worry about it, because it's going to get covered up. So, yep, basically that's it, guys, you know. Just like that. So, then when you know, if you got to turn it around, you know, that's why I haven't put the wings on yet, but then, you know, go in and make sure you get shading done to what you've already done. So, and then, yep, we just keep working like this, guys. And if you want more shading like where these crooks are, bring it back and open it up just a little bit like I did. And then if you want to go back into the lining, you know, you do this. And like I said, yeah, sometimes you'll get these little, it's like, oh my god, you clean that crap out of this thing, and then it's like, where the heck did you come from? But like I said, if you're going to do like where these ribs are, like right here, all these points, you can have it back a little bit. And then just like so. So, now, like I said, from here up it's going to be black. So, again, don't go crazy, because I'm going to tape this off. But one thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to try to get all that black in right away. I'm going to kind of just play with it, kind of get it toned in. You know, not go real crazy, because like I said, when you paint these things, you don't want to try to glob it on all at the same time. So, I'm going to keep doing this. And then don't worry, like I said, guys, if this is really dark, don't worry about that, because when you go to actually do the paint, once you get this part masked off, and if it's a little dark, you can just add more paint to help cover that up. So, but yeah, so just like so. Like I said, guys, the funny part is I'm going to do a new technique on this, so that's going to help. But then, you know, just, you know, hold the kit to where you're comfortable and just so. Just like that, guys. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to keep going on this, and then I'll show you what it looks like when we get back, when I get it completely, fully done. But yeah, this is how you start doing pre-shading. So, and like I said, because this is so black, it's because this is actually part of the paint scheme that I'm doing on this plane is right here. And I wanted to get that down, and then I can mask it off and, you know, mask it off and do the other primary colors, and then I'll take everything off, do the weathering, which I'm going to show you, like I said, guys, and then, you know, start masking it back off again. But I'm going to keep working on this, guys, so I'll see you in a bit. Alright, everyone, and there we're done. I've gotten everything pre-shaded or painted pretty well black, what I wanted, like the underneath. I still got to finish taking those off, but show you, yeah, it looks messy, huh? But trust me, it's going to make it look awesome. So, guys, I'm going to let this get dried and get stuff taken care of. And when we come back, we'll start working on the actual primer, or the primary paint. So, see you guys in a bit. Hey guys, we're back. And yes, I'm trying this new technique for weathering, which is basically just a salt wash. And I know I was going to show you guys when I turn these over after I get this done. I'll show you how to do that. All you need is water, spray bottle like this, and salt. And just go to town. So once it's dry, what I'm fixing to do is I'm going to go ahead and paint the primary color again on this and let that dry, and then I'll brush this off and show you guys what it looks like. I was trying to show you how to start it, but then I got a phone call and everything went crazy. So I'm going to get this sprayed down and let it get dried and get at least this side done. And then when I turn it over, I will show you a quick on how to do it on this, on the reverse side of this. But when I go and do the actual, get all the paint done on the plane before, you know, I seal everything, and I'll show you guys on that too, just to give you another heads up. But this is the first time I've done this, so I'm kind of excited to see how it's going to come out. So I'll see you in a bit, guys. Alright guys, I'm going to give you a quick show on how I did this. And then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all good and done. But basically you just spray it down with water, just like so. And then you just put salt on it. Put as much or as little as you want. From what I understand. So, yeah. So there we go, guys. And a couple more. And yeah. So it's a very easy process the way I'm learning how to do this. Black, you're going to see some lightening of the black, and I'll show you when we get all this set and done. And you might not see much with it. It's just going to lighten the black. But when we get the blues and the grays on the main part of the plane, we're going to see a lot more subtle difference. So this is supposed to be subtle and not drastic, from the way I've read it and the way I've listened to it. So it's subtle, just not overly drastic. So let this dry. I'm going to get this painted, and then we're going to go on to the next part. But here, I'm sorry guys, let me zoom out here. So it doesn't really look that much difference, but in my eye, right close to me, I can see the slight shading difference, the subtle takeaways. So that's kind of what I was looking for. That's what I'm hoping. It's not a brand new plane, so yeah, I'm sorry if it doesn't pick up that well on camera for you guys, but it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and gloss this so I can get that gloss and get it all dried, and then I can mask this off so I can do the rest of the plane. Alright guys, so it's slowly going on. See you in a bit. Well, happy Thursday guys, and it's late in the afternoon and we're getting there. So some things I've learned about doing this salt water technique this way to, one, it's very awesome to work with, but two, I'm going to actually get iodized salt because I've been using sea salt, and and this is the toothbrush I use to get things off, and it gets a lot, but it doesn't get everything, and then I have to use my finger to try to get the pieces it didn't. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not going to do much except touch these up where the paint came off, because you can't gloss coat this and then do that weathering technique and then hopefully it does it. So I'm going to touch those up. I'm going to leave it like it is, and actually this is a good mistake because this will show where the mechanics and the maintenance people are trying to keep touching it up. But I'm very happy. I like the saltwater technique. Don't get me wrong. It's very awesome, but I need to get a better brush and try iodized salt instead of sea salt. So now I'm going to get ready to start mixing up the paint, and I'm going to get the top done. Yeah, these things. One thing when you go do this, go ahead and take the extra piece out like this for the wings. So you're gonna paint that its own separate color. But go ahead and get these pieces in and get them, hopefully, like I'm trying to do here. The problem is, and I can touch it up too when I go to do this. So there's a lesson learned. I was trying to show you guys how to take care of the paint without having to paint another piece. But that's fine. So, yeah. So this part here is going to be the same color as the rest of the top, but this is going to be a darker gray. So, good to know. So, there probably is a technique to doing it, but I'm going to go ahead and get the top done and let it get all good and dry and keep working on other things. So, as you can tell, I've already masked off the areas that I want to keep protected, like right here. Especially right here, because I don't care if a little bit of blue gets down, but I don't want a whole lot. But because there's going to be a different gray for the bottom, and then right here, this is going to be a little more darker, and this is going to be a little bit lighter. So I just want to make sure I got the areas protected. So give me a second. Let me get everything set up, and I'll show you how I do primary paints. So be right back, guys. Okay, I found where I like a good color. So if you guys have watched me before and doing primary paint with pre-shading, great. If not, guys, the biggest thing I'm going to tell you is do not try, like I said, you've heard me say it before, but do not try to get all the paint in one go. So here we go. And just like that, guys, I mean, it's going to be a nice light start coat. And that's all I'm going to do first, is just kind of coat it. Yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to paint, but that's okay, because I can take care of those, darken that back up in a little bit on those. But yeah, so you just kind of want to just go nice and easy. Get the base on all parts. So as you can see, I've turned things so I can make sure, and then go to the side, and then I don't mind getting a little bluer on this because I can mask it off on these sections when it's time, and I can create that line. But like I said, I just want to make sure that it's there, and that's what we're doing first, is just making sure it's on there. So kind of like that, guys. And I know a lot of times when you use the airbrush, you're pretty close, but there, that's the first coat, guys. And yeah, it looks rough, but that's what I want to go with, because basically I'm going to thin the paint out, and then I'm going to do another coat, and I'm just going to keep. So why I do light coats, and why you learn why there's light coats, is while you're wanting to cover up the pre-shading, you're not wanting to hide it all right. You're hiding it to a point, but you're not covering it up. You want it to show through. You want it to be there. You want it to, be a part of it. But you don't want it to be like right now where it is. It's just like, oh my God, it's right there. So that's where we're at. So now I'm going to, again, I take some of my thinner, and I'm going to thin it down even more. I'm going to thin it down, but I'm not going to make it like water. I just want to get a nice, decent thin coat. And after this dries for a couple of minutes, I'm going to add another coat. As you can tell. I mean, of course, because... excuse me. Who wants to see all that? I like the shadows to be there, but yeah, not crazy. Excuse me. Alright, guys, so you let it dry a little bit, and then again, you just You just go over it again, just like so. And as you can tell, I'm even further away than I was the last time. Because while I want it to be there, I don't want it to get aggressive. Like sometimes right there it kind of tries to get more aggressive, a little thicker than I want it to. So that's what we're doing. And yes, I shake a lot when I use my airbrush, so I don't spill things. Alright guys, so that's the next. Like I said, it's not very much. It's just, hey, how you doing? And with this, I'm probably going to do at least a third coat. I might do a fourth, but I'm going to at least do another third. And when you do that, you want to thin down the paint just a bit more. And make sure it's good and mixed. And there we go. So guys, I'm going to get this. Well, let me just keep showing you. I mean, you guys will want to see this. So, it's really good. I mean, I love doing the pre-shading. I mean, you can tell, guys, it adds some nice detail, but not going crazy. So that's dried a little bit. And with it being even thinner, you kind of want to be even further away, guys, when you do it, because you just want it to be there, just like that. And as you can tell, I'm not being aggressive with the painting. Again, I know I'm probably repeating myself a lot with you guys, and I do apologize about that. But yeah. And then you keep doing like I do. I love to spill paint everywhere. But I'm very, very happy so far with how this is coming out. And so just like that, guys, and I'm actually going to probably call this pretty well done. Excuse me. I'm very happy with how it is. And now I'm just touching up where I feel that the spots are a little too light that I'm covering up. So, yeah. And that looks very, very cool. And again, it's just, guys, learn to do it with your eye. What makes you feel comfortable with it. Again, this is your kit, so do however you want. But yeah, there you go, guys. And that's the first of 3 primary paint colors. So I'm going to let this get cured, and then we're going to come back and we're going to go do the bottom. Alright, see you in a bit, guys. Okay, one last thing, guys, before I get going to the bottom. One, I dry brushed what I've already salt washed black. Try to take care of some of the spots. I went, oops. And then I forgot to do the upper part of the wings. But I went ahead and got them done. And I got to say, I'm very happy. It's very well matched. It did very well. Just a little bit, here and there that, just got to get touched up. And that's the fun part. Is just making sure, don't go overboard, but make sure you're good. So that's what pre-shading on the top is going to look like. And you can get the detail, and then there's some other things I'm going to do to it, but yeah. So there we go. So now I'm going to get everything cleaned up and then let this get good and dry, and then we're going to start on the bottom. Alright, guys? So see you in a bit. Well, happy Friday, guys, and I had to go do some shopping before I could get going on the F14 again. And the only thing I did is I went to my hobby shop and I thought I grabbed acrylics and I grabbed enamel. So this first base coat on the bottom is actually enamel, and I don't mind it, but I like the acrylic. It's a lot easier to work in, especially down in my studio and all that. So I've already got it loaded, and we're ready to go. So again, just like I showed you guys before on the top, you know, just light, even passes, just like so, to help bring out that color, or to help hide the pre-shading but not completely hide it. And then the other thing, if you got like right here, you can see I've actually taped and marked this off, because the top's is the primary color on top, and then right here this is all going to be the primary color on bottom. So I still got to do one more side, so I'm going to go ahead and get that done up, but I wanted to show you guys what's up so far. And as soon as I get the second coat done, I'll come back to it so you guys can see, and then we'll keep going. So give me a few minutes and I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, well that's the second coat, and yes, there's a lot of pieces to get this light ghost gray on it. And one of the things I want to show you, because I know I've told you guys down here there's going to be another gray right up around here, but I want to go ahead and get this all with this one coat down, and then I'll show you a nice neat little trick how I'm going to get that gray and how I'm going to let everything line up and do what it should do. But alright, I've already thinned it down, and we're going to go ahead and do I'll show you the next coat. And yeah, and again guys, like I said, don't be in a hurry. And the great thing with acrylic is it does, especially from airbrush, it dries really good quickly, so you can do this, touch it. But again, and as like I said before, as you do more coats, you know, just keep yourself away from it a bit. And just enjoy yourself. Like I said, as you can see, I'm a lot further away than I have been, because like I said, I don't want it to, and as you can tell there, I mean, a lot of what the pre-shading I did is very well gone, but it's still there. There's a hint of it still there, and that's what I'm happy with. So that one's done, and we'll start to get that, and then we'll do this one, and I'll show you again. And I'm not going to keep you guys on here while I do the whole thing, but just wanted to give you guys a head up. So as you can see, I'm really far away from it, and I'm not doing heavy thick coats like I said. Whoop. And then you do that, like I said, that's the fun part with doing this job sometimes, is you get stuff like that. No worries, because the more you make the paint thinner, the more it's going to want to play like that. So when accidents like that do happen, just come back and just dust it again. And there you go, guys. I mean, yeah, some's going to look, it's like, oh my god, that's like way up there. Don't worry, because with the weathering I'm going to do with this, that's going to be fine. So don't get crazy, oh my god, I got to strip it off. No. With the extra weathering I'm going to do and the other stuff, it'll be fine. But like I said, just keep and like I said, the more you thin this down, the more that paint's going to like to try to just get itself out of the brush. So, and there. So, there's that one. And, show you again on the Tomcat itself before I do all the little pieces. And just find where you want to start, and just kind of go with it. So, and as you can see, I'm pretty far away. Again, I know I've said that a lot, because I just want to blend in a little more and not go wholly crazy with it like we can. So as you can tell, guys, it's coming around great. So there we go. When this gets good and dry, it's gonna be, oh my gosh, that looks great. But yeah, so I'm pretty well gonna call that done. I'm gonna let it get dry, really good and dry, and then I'll be able to tell. But from what I can tell right now, is I'm very happy with it. And yes, sometimes you'll do a little bit more spraying. Just to make sure everything's good. But yeah, so I'm very happy with it. And yeah, so I'm going to call that done. So with that, guys, I'm going to finish getting up this bit of paint. And I'm going to get this video put together so I can actually upload it for you guys this week, tonight. So, with that said, about another week, maybe two, maybe a week and a half, I'm not sure, on finishing up the Tomcat. And like I said, I'm going to show you how to do the diorama. But have a good weekend, guys. Again, thank you for being patient with me getting these videos out. It's a little longer, but I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time on the bench, guys. Don't have too much fun now.